can you walk me a little bit through the beginning? So you started in banking and you went from analyst to director in roughly 9 years. So how was that journey?
Yeah, I love that question because like that question made me think a lot about my life, and I would say that there is one element that has been key in my life, and I will explain. So, I'm Mexican. I have been out of Mexico from the last I would say almost 10 years. So from Mexico, I was working in the banking industry. I started working as an analyst. I even started before I finished the university. I in the university I studied something that it's actuary or actuarian, that it's like mathematics and statistics. So I studied there. I started working for the bank before I finished the university, and everything was like fine. But I like my life was always defined by like really big goals. Like since I was like little, my mom used to tell me like, you need to always compare to the best in the class, you need to be number one, you can bring more results. And I was like just challenged every time because I was always good at school. I was the kind of girl that was always an A in all classes, and it was just mainly I would say motivated by my mom. She was always like, you can do better, you can do better. And that was always that motivation from her. And she always teach me like, uh, until now, she always tell me like, you need to be able to develop a professional career. It's funny because she always said there are two kind of girls: the pretty girls that sometimes they have like an easy an easy way to go up, and there are others that need to be smart, because if you are not pretty, you need to be smart. And you are pretty to me, but you are not pretty to the world, so you need to be smart. So she was always like, you need to be smart, you need to be smart, you need to compare to the best, to the best. And that kind of defined my personality. Like I have like three siblings. We are totally different to each other. Like I am totally different even physically, but that was part of my personality. So the key element was setting goals. I always set goals for myself. The first year when I started my job as an analyst, I had like a financial goal and I have a professional goal. So my financial goal was, my mom had an accident that year, a car accident, and she lost the car. And I was like, okay, I am starting here. I need to, by the end of this year, I need to be able to buy another car to my mom. So that was like kind of my financial goal. And on the professional side, I was like, okay, I am an analyst. I had kind of a picture of the structure of the company in my mind. And I was like, okay, I need to grow, right? So what's the next step that I need to take in this company? Okay, what are the things that I am missing? I was always asking a lot of questions to my boss, like what are the skills that I need to develop for me to be able to grow in the company. Oh, you need to be more, I don't know, whatever. But I was always asking questions, and I had that clear goal. So by the end of that year, I bought the car for my mom. It was like a really simple car, but I still got it. Then and next year I had my first promotion. So that was huge for me because I said, okay, that's working. If I set a plan, if I focus on that plan, and I make like smart, or like I make a detailed plan, like what are the things that I need to accomplish this month, how much money I, and the best example is the car for my mom. So I went to the car dealer, I asked for the price, I make a list of the things that I needed to have, I make a monthly plan for the payment, and I basically did it. I knew exactly what I needed to get for every month for me to be able to pay by the end of the month. And I am explaining this because since that year I was like that every single year. Next year I was like, okay, now I need to get a master's degree. Okay, let's do it. Next year it was like, I want to buy a home for myself, I want to buy an apartment. And it was always like that. So I every year I had like a real plan about how I wanted to grow on the professional and the financial way. So I started like that. So before my 5th year in the company, I was selected in a young professional development program on the company, where I was selected for me to go to a different country, and they basically pick like 10 to 12 young professionals all around the world, and you have like an you needed to go to a different country for a couple of years, and they would prepare you and blah blah blah. They basically were preparing you for you to be a director in the same company. So I started like that. I went to Chile, and in Chile it was amazing. It was not easy, because in the beginning, even though the culture is really similar to my culture, the language is the same, but it was hard just to find again my place. I needed to basically start from zero, because I had in Mexico, I already had like a really fast professional career. But when I went to Chile, I needed to basically prove myself again, because even though I had already like the check from my country and from the program, I needed to prove to the people, right? They would not just accept you and say, hey, yeah, you can be the boss here. So I needed to grow again. And that was another challenge, but that made me again set goals. And I said, okay, what I need to accomplish in Chile, how many years I want to be here. So those things were just kind of defining the way that I wanted to take my career, and how I picture myself in a couple of years. So, well, just to make this short, like I went to Chile. It was amazing. I basically created a family there. I was there for almost 5 years. I met my husband there, and at some point, I had the same, I don't know, adrenaline inside, and I was like, I need something more. Like, I love finance, but I need to grow in a different world. I don't want to be the person that starts in finance and they go all their life in finance. I wanted to see different things. I wanted to learn different skills. So my husband went to MIT. He was approved for an MBA. I was not planning to go there, but one day I went to visit him in Boston, and he showed me Harvard University and everything, and I was like, I want to be here. I want to be here, and I want to study here. Let's go. So I left my job in Chile. I moved to Boston. I started the master's program there.
And just a little bit back, going a little bit back. So you mentioned you got into this program, leadership program. So how did you get in there? Because obviously, I assume it's not easy to get into, to be selected, to be among those who the company regard as future leaders. So how did you make it into that program?
Well, I would say that again, it was not easy, because it was like a lot of young professionals applied for that, and only 10 to 12 were like qualified for the position, right? I basically, I would say that I base my life in two main things: preparation and planning. And I prepared myself a lot for that. Like when I first joined the company, I was talking to a guy, and he told me that he had that experience, and I was like, I want to do something like that. So I started reading about that. I started researching on the program, all the requirements that they were asking. But the main point, more than the preparation was super important. But I started working for a bank when I was 21, and I was, you know me, like I am like small. I am, if I have like a little bit of makeup now, but when I don't wear makeup, I look like a 15 years old. and, and that was something that was really challenge. It was a challenge for me, because I needed to present myself as a professional. I needed to gain that respect. In Latin America, it's still hard. If here is hard, there is harder, just to present yourself as a professional woman and gain the respect just as any other professional. But I needed to face really hard situations where I needed to present like to the first line in the bank, and it was like really, really huge professionals in the finance industry in Mexico, and I needed to present, and I developed like a really well way to present and to be confident without being like a man, you know. I didn't want to, because what happens sometimes that you need to act like them for you to be important or for you to be listened. And I just based all my knowledge and all my presentations on facts. I was just to the point, and I just gained the respect of a lot of people as a professional, and that helped me a lot, because they were looking at me. Human resources was looking at me. My boss was looking at me just to help me to advance in my career. But just because I really showed that I wanted to do it. I really showed that I had a plan. I really showed that I had big dreams, and that nothing will stop me, you know, that I was not afraid. And because some situations like that, when when you are 21, 22, and you need to present to like a really strong personality man in the industry, it was kind of scary. But I developed a way for me to be confident who I am, and just be who I am, but prepare. Like I was like super prepared. If I needed to talk something in the meeting, I knew exactly what I needed to say, and I was not just talking because I needed to talk. Like I was super prepared every time that I went to a meeting, that I went to an interview. I really showed that I really wanted to grow, and that I was serious about my professional career. And I think that when you show that you are serious about yourself, people really trust you.
And what other skills do you have that you think was important?
Managing people. I love managing people, and that was something that it's important to me. Like I really focus on I like to make people feel that they are important, that we care about them, that I don't like to picture myself as a boss, even though I am a boss. I like to hire people, or I like to work with people that are even smarter than me, because I really think that yeah, I have some skills that I am able to organize a team, that I can plan ahead, I can make a strategy. But if I don't have the correct people by myself, it will be super hard to do it. So it was something that it was just in my nature. Like I really love working with people. I really like to learn from others, and I was always open, and I was open to learn, and open to try to improve myself on that. So I started with one person in my team in my first year in the bank, but then I have like a really good feedback. I started a program where they also help me with tools to manage teams, with skills to manage teams, and I just love that. And I think that was other important skill for me, that I am able to combine the value that each person can bring to the team and make something bigger. But no, it's not just about me. I know, like for example, now in my team, I really believe that they are much better professionally than me. I just have some skills that I can just use, or yeah, get the best of each of them for us to be like more powerful. But yeah, managing teams was like really important.
And so, what advice do you have for people who would want to advance in their career?
First, being super serious about what you want, being super serious about yourself, and make a plan. Make a plan. I always say, like, you need to have a clear vision on your dreams, but you need to have a clear plan, and you need to execute it. If you don't make a plan, if I have today is the first day of the month, and the whole morning was just about making a plan for my company, a plan for my business, a plan for the family. You need to have a plan. I am not someone that I'm super stick to the plan, but at least I know what I want to accomplish, and I revise that plan. The monthly plan, I revise every week. Okay, how I'm doing. I need to adjust something. Yeah, I need to adjust. Or no, maybe I will change that because that's not really what I wanted. You need to have a plan. First, you need to be super serious about yourself, and you need to be confident about what you want to accomplish. You need to set clear and doable or reachable goals, and you need to execute. You need to put the job, you need to put the work, you need to go for it. Sometimes we like to dream about having a house or having balance in life, but what you are really doing about that.
Yeah. And how did you, so when you progressed, you mentioned that you have to be serious about it, and really put in the work. What obstacles did you face during these during this progression?
Well, the first obstacle was always like being a young woman professional, like being super young, being a woman. It's really hard just to find your place, and it's crazy because this is an obstacle. It's something that it's my nature, right? I didn't do anything about that. I'm a woman. I'm young. What I can do about it? But the way to face it was prepare myself. It was like I need to prepare, and if I want to have a conversation with them that are really hard to talk to, or they are really in a different level, okay, I need to be prepared to have a conversation at that level. So it was just preparation. And the other big challenge was negotiation. You need to negotiate for yourself. Like I had tons of times where I was promoted and it was like, but you are young, we will not give you all the money that it's usually in this position because you are still growing, or because whatever you want to say. And I was like, I will not take it. I was super serious because I know the value that I'm bringing, and I am like a really I'm a person who works a lot for what she wants to accomplish, and I am like result driven. So I'm sure that whenever I need or wherever I need to work, I will put everything to make things happen. So I was super hard on that point. I negotiate super hard for myself, and not always was successful, but I was always like showing that I needed at least the same that others were getting. And I would say that the worst moments in my life were negotiations like that, like just explaining why you need to get the same that any other person in that level needs to get.
So how do you prepare for that, and what advice do you have for those who need to negotiate at work?
Again, preparation. You need to know exactly what's the level or of conditions that the position that you want to apply or that you are applying for has. Like you need to be sure, and you need to have a list. Okay, it's the salary, the vacations, I don't know, healthy plan. You need to have a list, and you need to pick from them what are the three things that you are not willing to to give. Yeah, you are not willing to let it go, for saying in some way. And those three things you will not negotiate, and you can negotiate around all other things. And you need to be open also to negotiate, because a negotiation is at both sides, right? So you need to pick one or two battles, and the rest of them you need to be open to surrender for for saying in some way. So for example, my my hardest negotiation, it was like three things. It was salary, it was the kind of position, because you can get the salary but you don't get the director position, and conditions like kind of bonuses and everything. So basically they were other stuff on the offer, but that were my train issues. And I say, out of those three, I need you to give me two. The rest of them I am open and I will not say anything. And they were like, no, we cannot give you any of those. And I was like, okay, I cannot take the position. I will wait for a position where I can take what I need and what I know I deserve. So it took like 1 month, the negotiation, and I got the two things that I needed, and the one that I didn't get, I show with results that what I was saying in the beginning. And after 6 months I get the third condition that I needed. So I would say prepare yourself for the negotiation. Be clear about your intentions. Be clear what you need to get for that position. If not all the time is money. Maybe it's not money, but it's just flexibility for you to work from home, or maybe it's just to get I don't know, an option to get a bonus or whatever you decide, but you need to have 2 to 3 things that are the most important thing to you. Like just prioritize and try to move the conversation to the other stuff that it's not important to you.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned communication, that it's important. Have you run into any obstacles on that one when you communicated where you wanted to go? I'm also thinking you started out in more financial area, and then you moved into marketing and product marketing. And sometimes people can be put into a box in terms of, okay, you are in finance or you're in marketing, then you're not able to do this, or you're not able to do something else. People can run into that. Have you run into anything like that, or what would be your advice on that?
Yeah, and you are right. So I studied mathematics, statistics, like numbers, and I was always like super introvert. That was my personality.
I would have never guessed.
I am super introvert, and I was like, I was the kind of person that I was in the computer and I was able to work like super fast and amazing, but was not always able to present the idea or to market the idea for someone else to buy it. So I intentionally asked one of my bosses to change me to the commercial side of the bank, just because of that, because I knew that I didn't want to go to the same path my whole career. So I talked to him and I was asking, like, what do you think that I need to improve now? And he told me, you need to improve in terms of communication or marketing yourself and marketing the projects that you are doing. You need to sell better what you are doing, because you are doing nice stuff, but you are still there on your on your computer working, and you don't have the time, or you don't put the time to show the world what you are doing. So, and I told him, like, what would be the way, or what's the position that I need to take, or how I go through that process. And he told me, you need to go to the commercial side, because in the commercial side you will have a good balance. So I decided to apply. So I prepared myself. I was super scared, because like I was like, imagine I needed to do like a commercial for in television. I need to work a commercial for the employees in the offices of the bank ranch. So I was super scared, because I didn't like to present in front of other people. I didn't like to make PowerPoint presentations. I didn't feel that was something that I was good at. And at the end, I learned and I put the job, and my first presentations were horrible, but I just took like, I like to study, I like to prepare myself, and I was like, I just took like a tons of presentations that my the other coworkers were doing in the same area, and I just took the presentations and I was trying to copy everything. And yeah, I needed to challenge myself, and it was hard, it was not easy, but at the end, when you are confident about yourself and the things that you can learn everything you can learn. It's just that you need to be willing to do it, and you need to be willing to be out of your comfort zone. And now, for example, like going from banking to retail, it was again a totally different story. And now that I have also my side business, it's basically commercial thing. You need to be able to present a brand, and I did that just with the same objective, the same focus. I wanted to, okay, I already have all the expertise in finance, I have the expertise in product development, I have the expertise in project management, and I said I need to be able to sell something. I am not a commercial girl or someone that has any expertise on selling, and I needed to develop something like that for myself. and also to improve my English, because I wanted to be better in the language, and so I did it again. So I think that we need to challenge ourselves, and we need to have a clear vision. And of course, there are some things that you are not good at and you don't want to be good at, and that's fine. But if there is something that you really need to, or it's attractive to you, you just need to go for it. And you need to be willing to fail, because I failed tons of times, believe me. But you need to be willing to fail and learn.
So you went from Chile to the US. So can you tell me about like how was that shift? So you not just made it to the US, which is in itself it can be super challenging when you're coming from the outside, but you also became a CEO. So can you tell me about that journey and how did you manage to do all that?
You are making me just going back on time, and it's amazing, because like I would say that success, it's just like a bunch of failing stories, but at the end you have like a happy ending, right? And I am telling you right now all the happy endings, but there is a lot of failing in the process, and there is a lot of frustration, there is a lot of days when you just cry and say, what I'm doing, I just want to go back to Chile or to Mexico, where my life was perfect and I was just in control of everything, right? When you go to a different country, when I came to the US, everything was out of my control. I was not happy with my English. I was not I was nervous about, because I just left my job, my amazing job in Chile. My last position in the bank in Chile was like my dream job, and I was just like super afraid of everything. And you just came here, and you have an amazing background, and I know a lot of people with an amazing background back in their countries, and you just came here, and it's like your resume or your curriculum basically disappeared. Like there is nothing there. You don't know how to use what you know. Here you don't know how to present yourself in a new market. So it was challenging. The master in Harvard was super challenging for me. It's a totally different way to study. It's a totally different way to present yourself in a group of different people, and the language was a really huge barrier for me. Now I know that I am not perfect at English, but I'm not perfect in a lot of things, and I still survive and I still can communicate. You know, I'm just more relaxed about it. But well, when we came to LA, the first to get a job here was my husband. So he got a job here. I stayed in Boston. I was finishing the master there, and he was here working. So in the transition, while I was finishing the master and coming here to LA, I applied, I would say, to 500 different jobs. Maybe. I was just applying. I was like really serious about that. I was just applying. I was just looking for the correct and the perfect opportunity, where I knew that I needed to take one step backwards for me to be able to start in the US. So I was willing to do that. In the beginning, I was like, no, I need to find a director position, because I was already a director in Chile. But then the reality came and say, no, you need to take a step back and then find your place and maybe grow again. That was exactly the same that I did when I went to Chile. So I started to apply. It was hard because I didn't want to go back to the financial industry. I wanted to try a new industry, because that was the main goal, just to be open and learn from other industries and just open my mind. And the time that I was in Harvard, that my husband was studying at MIT, I was just attending every free class in MIT, all my classes in Harvard, and I was just like really receptive about all the amazing things that happen in Boston. It's like, it's amazing, that city. Like you learn, like, just if you are just seated there waiting for the bus in the bus station, you can learn something there. It's like you learn from everywhere there. And I feel that I needed a change. So the easy option was just to come here and find a job in the financial industry, but I didn't want to do it. So it was harder because I needed to apply to a tons of jobs, and just trying to justify my financial experience and showing how my financial experience could bring value to that position, even though it was not on finance. So I applied for 500 different jobs, and at the time that I was just about to give up, I was like, no, we need to go back to Chile and or Mexico or Brazil. My husband is Brazilian, so we need to go back and we will find a good job. And just like that, we had a dinner with a couple of friends that randomly invited us, and we have a conversation. We were just talking about ourselves. I was talking about myself, about the master, and the guy was like, okay, you know what, I think I have something that I was not even saying that I was looking for a job. He said, you know what, I have something that I need to talk to you, but let's meet next week. So I went to the meeting with him. He was saying basically that they needed a CEO for this company, and if I wanted to take the role, I was like in shock. I was like, I don't know anything about retail. A CEO position, like I don't know if all the questions that you may have in your head about you will be able to do it, the new industry, and basically in 2 weeks I already had the job. I had an interview with a corporate in Brazil, and basically it was like that. Like I don't know. It was like when I was relaxed talking about myself and about all my experience without any intention to get a job. It's when I get the job. And all the 500 emails that I sent for me to get a job, I didn't get it. So it was something that was like that.
Yeah, that sounds great. So you would say you need to relax.
You need to
Would
relax.
that be one of your advice? And what advice do you have for those who are coming from the outside to the US and want to build a career here?
Yeah, the first thing is, first you need to relax. You need to take the time. You need to be super patient, because they are not waiting here for us and say, here it's perfect because we were waiting for you for this position. You need to put the job, because I think that those 500 resumes that I sent, maybe we can think, oh, that was trash. You didn't need it. You don't need it. You don't need to do that. No, yeah, I needed to do that, because those 500 emails that I sent, maybe I had like 20 interviews, and I prepared for those interviews. And when I was in that dinner just presenting myself, that was a consequence of a lot of planning. And that was me talking about myself in a really relaxed way, but I was talking about everything that I had prepared before. So be prepared, be super prepared, look for options that match your experience, but be willing also to take a step backwards. It doesn't matter, because the important thing is just to find a good company, to find a company that opens the doors for you, and then you will grow again. When you are good at what you do, there is no way for you to fail. But just be patient and put the work. I always tell them, like, at least work 1 hour or 2 hours a day for you to find a job. Finding a job is a job. You need to take it seriously, and you need to apply, and you need to be willing to take a look at your resume, take a look at the companies that you want to work for, send emails, talk to people. I would say the most important thing is you need to have conversations. You need to talk to people. It was not prepared, but talking to that guy, if I had not talked to that guy, if I didn't go to that dinner, I would never know that he was looking for a CEO. So sometimes it's not LinkedIn, it's not like a way for you to find a job. Is the opportunities are with people, and you need to communicate. You need to have real conversations, and more now than ever, you need to have like a virtual conversation like that. It's not just taking the phone, it's just knowing the people, talking to the people eyes to eyes. Even though we cannot touch each other, it's important to have those conversations. And I talked to a lot of people that at that time I didn't get the job, but I have really good conversations afterwards. Like they were just, I look for people in, I don't know, if I pick one company that I really like, just to say something, Amazon. Okay, I like Amazon. I will look for people who is working there. okay, I will make a reach out. I will reach out to them and say, hey, how are you? Can you tell me more about Amazon? Or I just arrived to LA. How are you? Just make connection, make real and genuine connections that will help you grow, not just professionally, but also personally. And it's people that it's always bringing any kind of value.
Yeah, that's very good advice. I totally agree with that. And you mentioned obviously the obstacles just now. What was sort of the toughest decision you had to make, or the toughest situation you've been to?
Well, leaving my country. It's like it's still hard, you know. It's something that it's hard every day. You will never say, "Oh, it's fine. I'm already fine. I left everything there," because you leave your family. I knew that it was like a way for me to grow, a way for me to see other countries, to know other people, but at the same time, uh, time flies and you are far from your family, you are far from your parents, you are far from your friends, you are far from the people who trust and know you, and and that makes everything more complicated, because when you want to get a job, it's not like if you were in your country that you make a couple of calls of for to colleagues or to coworkers or to ex-bosses, say, hey, I'm looking. No, it's here. You need to start friends from zero. You need to start your professional career from zero. You need to start a family from zero. So that's something that it's really challenging every day. And now I have a daughter, and just not having the chance for her to grow with their family, with my mom, the family of my husband, that his family is in Brazil, so it's even more complicated. So I would say that that's the hardest decision. I never regret that, but it's hard, you know, and you just need to find a way to deal with that. I try to travel at least once or twice to visit them. The technology nowadays it's in our side, so that's fantastic. Before, when I left, the only thing that I had was Skype, and that was all. Now we have everything. We can talk to them every day. So it's hard, but yeah, it's manageable.
It's definitely very, very difficult,
Hmm.
especially now with the pandemic that's making it
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
to see our families. So you're also a champion for women and also having a business on the side. So can you talk a little bit more about that, and how did you get started and what do you do?
Yeah, of course. Well, um, as I told you, like I really like to plan ahead. I like to have specific goals. I love my job as a CEO. I love what I do, but I also know that it's time consuming. It's super demanding. I need to spend a lot of hours in front of the computer or talking to my team. It's just a lot of hours. I didn't have. I told you I didn't have any maternity leave. It was it's intense. So just planning ahead for my life. I know that it's important for us to have at least 2 to 3 streams of income. You need to be diversified, even if you have a good job. You need to have different sources of income, and you need to be prepared. So the real goal in my life is just to have what I call the laptop life, where you can work from anywhere, where you can work the hours based on your own schedule, that you can just arrange and work under your own rules. That's what I want to accomplish. So I am super good. I'm fine with my job. I love what I do, but I also need to plan ahead. And in within this plan, I knew that I needed like a side business. Going for a traditional business right now is not an option, and especially if you have like a full-time job. When you talk about different streams of income, you need to have one main income that you need to be there, that they need you there for make things happen, and this is my job. But you need to also have a couple of other options. It could be just investing, or my side business. I actually knew about this company through Harvard. It was just one of the cases that I was revising in Harvard. I knew about it. I never thought that it was something in my life. But then when I arrived here, I just talking about also taking care of ourselves. I needed to improve it's dermatological products, so I wanted to improve my skin, and I started using those products, and I started researching on that. And basically, I have like a franchisee, an online franchisee, that basically runs. I work 1 or 2 hours a day, and that runs by itself. So that's basically the idea, that we need to be prepared. I wanted to start my own business. I also have like, my dream project is to have like consulting company for women who want to start a business, or who already have a small or medium business. And I started this year, but I don't have the time, and I just need to have that freedom for me to decide which projects I want to work on, how many hours a day. So I want to be my own boss, basically. And it's not something that will happen today, but I need to be prepared for that. So that's why I have this business. And basically, when you have more than one thing at the time in your day, you are more productive. Like, it sounds crazy, but when you only have one job, when you only have one thing, you are just focusing all your energy on that. And when you have a second thing or a third thing, you are just managing better your time and investing like small you define your schedule. But what I do, for example, is like, all the morning, it's like the corporate is in Brazil, so they are 4 hours ahead. So basically, sometimes I need to start 6 a.m., so I work from 6 a.m. to um, 11 or 12 in the morning in my job. And then I take a break, then I go to have a breakfast with my family, and then I go back, and then I work for my business. So I just organize my time better in a more efficient way, and I am preparing for that, just to have a really good early retirement.
Now that you're also mentioning that, of course, time management is important, what advice do you have for those who are interested in the side hustle, to have something besides their job?
Well, the main thing is just to pick a trustworthy company, a solid company that you can put your name on. Because at this point in our careers, we are our main brand. So I work for Chili Beans. I have my RF side business, but the main brand is myself. So I wanted to be related to companies that I feel comfortable with, that I can relate to, that I can trust, because I cannot recommend something that I am not 100% about, that I would not use. So first and most important is, you need to analyze how strong and how is the company working by itself, if you want to put your name with them. That's the first thing. And the second thing is just organize your schedule. Like, I sometimes we need to start the morning 1 hour early, or we need to we need to go to bed 1 hour after our regular schedule. And it's fine, but it's worth it. It's worth it because you are just preparing yourself. I basically started this business 1 year ago, before the pandemic, and that was the perfect time, because I started before I needed. And that just fortunately, the company is going great. My job is going great. We went through the hardest time already, and we are fine. But still, I was okay. Like, I was like, just taking one day at a time, because I knew I had a second option. I knew I have even a third option. So it was not totally bad, right? And the other stuff was really working well, even though the company was not in the best situation. So we need to be prepared, and having options is the best thing in life. It's freedom, basically. You are not with one company, or you are not working in any project just because you need the money. You also need to fulfill your dreams, and you need to feel that you are bringing value to something.
Yeah, and then you need the sort of the freedom to do that, and having several streams of income definitely can help with that. So you're also a mom. How do you manage your days?
It's a lot of preparation, it's a lot of prioritizing. I always say like my priority is my daughter and my family. So but at the same time they understand that they have like a wife or a mom professional, and they respect my time. So for example, now when I have like an important meeting or an important thing, or my time where I am working, she knows that no, now, and she stays with her dad, and it's all fine. But when it's her time, I am with her. I am with no cell phone. I am totally for her. So I just define really well my schedule. Not, it doesn't work all the time. We have some chaotic days that nothing is working, and it's fine. And it also helps a lot that the kind of relationship that I have with my husband, especially now we are both working from home, and instead of being a problem, it's more helpful for me, because now we try to organize our agenda in conjunction. So I know what are the times that he will be busy, and I try not to put anything where we both are like complicated in terms of times, for us to do our best for her as well. So she has her nap time, we have our important meetings. So basically we organize, and they already know, and they already respect that I also need my time. So I just try to be the best when I am with them, and the best mom, the best wife, but also I ask them to respect this time that I have for myself as a professional, and also when I get any personal time. So I think that's important, and that's something that is changing a lot. My mom, it's like a really important figure to me, but I remember growing in a way where we were everything for our mom, and in those times moms sometimes needed to just give up on their dreams, just to focus on their families. And I think that it's hard, but for me my professional career is super important. So I knew that I would not be happy just raising my kid. I needed to have something for myself, and that's my personal point. There are some moms that they are happy with just taking care of the babies, and that's fine. You just need to decide what you want to do and do it, and it's fine. I am maybe not the best mom. I am sure that there are tons of other moms that do a better job, but I do the best that I can for her. And I want her to grow knowing that we need to be professionals as well, or we need to have our things, and we need to ask for that respect. That of course I am your mom, but I'm also me. I am Mar Diteos, and I have my own life.
And how do you, with everything going on, how do you take care of yourself?
Well, that's super important, and I have like a really well defined morning routine. I know when I am not fine, nothing else works. Like, I am not a good mom, I am not a good wife, I am not a good professional. So sometimes we focus a lot on being the best for everybody else, but the reality is when you focus to try to be the best for yourself, you are the best for everybody. So I have a really well defined morning routine. Well, I meditate, I work out in the morning before even having breakfast. I have my skincare routine. So that's basically the three things that I cannot miss during my day: meditation, workout, and my skincare routine. The same, you need to pick two or three things that really that are really important to you for yourself. It can be working out, it can be meditation, it can be uh, whatever, you name it. And you need to take it as serious as you take your professional or career, or you take your kids. And that's something that it has been super important to me. Like, I know that I am not okay if I don't do those things. So I cannot miss that on during my day. It's super important for me to be able to work on all the other stuff in my life.
So thank you very much for taking the time and coming on the podcast. You managed to inspire me, and you managed to inspire other women as well. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. And I just want to give like two takeaways, really, really short. First, have big dreams and big plans, and just go for it. Make a plan and go for it. Nothing is impossible. Like, you can really accomplish whatever you want. And the second big thing is just take care of yourself and take yourself seriously. That's the most important thing. When you take yourself seriously, your family, your coworkers, everything takes you seriously. So that would be my two things that I wanted to give to you. It's a pleasure because I really admire you. You know, you are an amazing professional, an amazing woman. So thank you for inviting me. And I hope that it's something that can inspire at least one person.
I'm sure about that. You inspired me, and there'll be others too.